Welcome back to BWO Daily, your source for news in sports entertainment and the world of professional wrestling from your boys at Busted Wide Open. My name is Nick Howell.
And I am Sir Ian Dangerous. And today we've got to talk about a big bit of moving and shaking in the sports world. You see, back in April, as you may recall, there was a little thing called the XFL, which was a little thing that first happened back in 2000 when Vince first started it and tried to have his own football league.
Right.
And it didn't work out. It failed then. And then they tried again this year. Vince put together a company called Alpha Entertainment to try to make the XFL come back. And it looked like it was doing pretty well. It was getting decent ratings. People were watching it. People dug it. And then everything that happened this year happened. And in early April, it shut down. And mid-April, it declared bankruptcy. The XFL was again heading to the stockyards, except right before they got through the bankruptcy proceedings, it got bought. It just got bought, Nick, by a brand new company headed by The Rock and his ex-wife, Dany Garcia. Going in together, along with their business partner, Jerry Cardinale, who works with Redbird Capital, which is they call it a private equity investment firm that brings together entrepreneurs and family offices to make growth equity investments in partnership with business founders who have a proven track record of success. So that's where he's from. They all got together and put together $15 million, just $15 million, and they bought the XFL.
Now, I watch Ballers on HBO. Am I dreaming right now? Is this?
He's living it.
He's actually living that life.
He's living Ballers.
Wow.
Yeah. So their company's called Alpha Aquaco LLC, which is strangely interesting. It's almost the same as Alpha Entertainment, which is interesting to note. But yeah, they just purchased it for $15 million. The liabilities for XFL were somewhere supposed to be in the region of $10 to $50 million. So, as you would expect, the creditors issued an objection to this.
Yeah.
They said the primary objective of selling assets in a bankruptcy proceeding is to maximize an estate's value and recoveries for the debtor's constituents, meaning them. Yeah. The committee, however, cannot reasonably determine whether that objective has been achieved in connection with the sale to the proposed buyers, given the debtor's failure to value significant assets that are now being included in the sale, but were not contemplated as part of the assets to be purchased in the form of asset purchase agreement prepared by the debtor. In other words, they're like, give us our money. We're not going to get squat for this. We're not going to get what we're owed if you sell it to The Rock for $15 million. So they're not happy about it.
As they shouldn't be. You loaned a crazy, wild 75-year-old tycoon a bunch of money.
Yeah, you didn't know what you were
for him to do his crazy harebrained idea again.
Right.
And you expect to get anyway.
Yeah. They also said they didn't think they were going to be compensated for any wrongdoings or mismanagement the company might have done as well, which is true. They're not going to. Sorry, guys. Dany and The Rock swooped in and stole it from you. The Rock actually, he commented on it. He said it's an investment for him that's rooted deeply in two things: his passion for the game and his desire to always take care of the fans. With pride and gratitude for all that I've built with my own two hands, I plan to apply these calluses to the XFL and look forward to creating something special for the players, fans, and everyone involved for the love of football. Considering he's a former CFL guy, the Rock played football before he got injured and went to WWE. This is an interesting opportunity for him, and more so, he put over Dany as being trailblazing, quote, trailblazing, because she is now the first ever female owner of a sports league.
Damn.
So that's a big deal there too. But now it's the uphill part. Vince was planning on dropping a reported $500 million into the XFL over the first 3 years of its operation. No word on if the TV deals with ABC and ESPN would still be intact.
No, probably that would go down. That would be part of the cash out.
You would imagine.
But with Dwayne Johnson attached to it now, who knows?
That's really the question. But it's worth noting that he's kind of there as from what I understand, a figurehead position. He's going to be there. He's going to have a say in, creatively and everything. But Dany's the one who's really running this thing. He actually said that she's the one that put together the deal and had the idea for it. And it's worth noting that The Rock, that Dwayne Johnson and Danny Garcia were married for 11 years, and they actually divorced in 2009. And they already have a production company together. They've got Seven Bucks Companies, which is a company that produced Baywatch. It produced the Jumanji sequel. They're doing Jungle Cruise next, with another big property. So they're doing big film properties with this. But so they're apparently still in a very working relationship. Actually, I found an interview with Danny where she said some people go through separation and there's no conversation and it's a dark time and one person goes off, but that was never us. We went on this journey together. We were going to change the manner of the relationship together. We spoke every day and multiple times a day, not only on business, but on what was happening personally. We spent over a year looking at the things that didn't work in our marriage, the reasons why, making sure those elements had been cleared and taken care of, and that we had a real understanding of respect. So they worked on this. They worked on putting together a relationship that they could then go and jointly buy the XFL. And The Rock even said it's like their relationship is so loving and seamless. The best part about it is the example they're setting for the little girl, Simone, who is currently at the WWPC, and you can see her in the crowds on Mondays and Fridays, and sometimes on Wednesdays too. So, kind of cool.
I still remember us reporting on, I feel like a year plus ago, that Vince McMahon cashed out like $80 million worth of stock in order
just on once. Like he did it a couple of times, cashed out stuff.
Yeah.
He pulled out cash,
and they just sold it for $15 million.
Yeah. But he got his. I mean, it's bankruptcy, so he's going to get some of his investment back. The question is, and you kind of brought this up, Nick, is the XFL name tarnished, or will Rock's brand name and Danny's business acumen, is that going to be enough to save the XFL and to make it work again? Because it did seem like it was working before everything happened.
Because they actually recruited named talent, sort of the backup quarterbacks of sorts. It was almost like an episode of the Replacements. And you were seeing some of this talent from the NFL come out and get an opportunity to shine, and they were. You were seeing a lot of this talent that had been riding the bench behind the starters in the NFL all of a sudden be able to lead teams. So could that be revived? Absolutely. You could change a name of something like that. It's not going to matter.
Do you think that having, I mean, we obviously, when it comes to Danny's business acumen, we'll wait and see. That's just going to be up to her. She's in that position now. We've never really seen what she can do in the public light yet. But do you think that The Rock has enough cachet to bring people to this brand?
Well, I only have one thing to say.
It doesn't matter what you think. Come on, I had to get one in there. I nearly jumped out of my skin right there. Well done, sir.
Well done. No, we don't know. Honestly, I don't know that much about Danny. Other than the fact that she was married to The Rock and they were business partners eventually. I do know that the Seven Bucks Companies comes from the old story of Dwayne Johnson telling the story of him having $7 left in his pocket. So there's good inspiration there. I love his message. I love the way he puts things together. We'll see. It all sounds fantastic. Now it's about executing.
Now The Rock says, go watch the XFL. In other news, we had a couple of births. In fact, we had back-to-back births. We've all known
the apocalypse was nearly signaled.
Right. I haven't heard if they've named either of the kids Damian yet, but we'll find out. Brie Bella and Nikki Bella, they were pregnant at the same time. They gave birth back-to-back days, probably through an inducement, but either way, they still had back-to-back babies. Nikki gave birth on July 31st on Friday. Brie gave birth on August 1st on Saturday. Both boys, and we knew that Nikki was giving birth to a boy, but Brie and Daniel decided to wait until the last minute to find out. Basically, once he popped out, to find out if they had a boy or a girl, so they didn't want to know. But Nikki and Artem
Chingvistev.
Thank you. They met on Dancing with the Stars. So just a note to everybody: if you send your girl to Dancing with the Stars, this is what happens. But at that aside, congratulations to both the Bellas on their two beautiful baby boys.
Thank you for not having them on the same day, which would have signaled the end of the world.
That would have been Yeah. What is it? Ave Satani.
Yeah.
And finally, happy birthday to Dean Malenko. He is turning 60 years old today. And Frankie Kazarian, who is turning 43. Happy birthday to both of them. This is our first show back after the weekend, so we missed a couple. So happy birthday on August 1st to DeVon Dudley, who's turning 48. Happy birthday to Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Austin Theory, who turned 35 and 23 respectively on August 2nd. And Damian Sandow turned 38 on August 3rd. So happy birthday to all of them. And that is the news.
Well, thank you very much, Sir Ian Dangerous. Apologies for missing yesterday. We had a little, pesky hurricane coming through North Carolina.
Hurricane.
It's, It was a lot of rain.
Not the fun kind that chokeslams the rock. We had a real hurricane.
No,
right.
There's sand and water everywhere covering the coast of the Carolinas. And speaking of signaling the apocalypse, if 2020 couldn't get any worse, there's tornadoes in Massachusetts. So
right. We're not saying that the Bella kids caused the hurricane. We're just saying they happen to be born.
If they end up naming those kids Damian and Gabriel, we're in trouble. Anyway, thank you very much, Sir Dangerous, for the news. Happy birthday to everybody. Get into our Discord and our social medias. You can find links down below. We are going live on Twitch now, and going forward tonight, we will be breaking down what happened last night on Monday Night Raw, as well as some other spicy news type things. So head over to twitch.tv/bustedwideopen. Make sure you give us a follow over there, but also make sure you subscribe right here on the channel by pounding that big red subscribe button. Set your notification to all so you get notified anytime we put up a new episode of BWO Daily. But my name is Nick Howell. You can find me on Twitter at DataCenterDude.
And sanguis minimus corpus animus rata corpu satani. I am Sir Ian Dangerous, and you can find me on Twitter at Sir Ian Dangerous.
And we will see you guys next time.